Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Brandon Barry is guest host for the week, and we are joined by Dale Blomquist to talk about Cry for Help comedy and to rehash good times at the Chapter Bar. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
All right, it is Wednesday, it is noonish, it is time for the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. Sitting in with, I'm just going to start right in. I'm sitting in with my special guest today. Actually, we'll start with my co-host, my guest co-host for the week. I'm all over the place. I'm running about 2 hours of sleep today. Brandon Barry is sitting in from DATV's TBTV and also from the Coffee with Idiots podcast.
That is correct. All of those things.
And I'm all out of coffee, but...
I'm actually drinking seltzer water today.
Well,
No
we still got
coffee.
plenty of idiots, so we're good there.
We're full of idiots.
Thanks for having me, Don.
Hey, thanks for coming in and helping me keep an eye on this other guy, because
Sure.
Dale Blomquist is in here from the Cry for Help comedy tour and Comedy Storm, and is that still a thing? Is that...
Yay! Hey, Dale's great! Yay! Yeah, that's still
Hey, your
a thing.
fan is here.
Put your shirt on, lady.
That's not a... Well, anyway, how's it going, Dale? It's been a little
Man,
while.
It is going great. It is going great.
I mean, not that long. When's the last time you were in here?
It's been a couple months.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, and I mean, it was a good show there. We actually had callers call in and get live with us,
Yeah.
and they were able to talk to us.
Yeah, hopefully that'll work again this week, because you never know. You never know when the technology is going to function as it's supposed to.
Yeah, it looks like he's having some trouble here. Uh-oh, he's playing the video now. I don't think he knows how to use it. You want me to help you? No? Okay.
Nope.
You got to coach these old folks every now and then as well.
Nope.
Super good.
I'm getting embarrassed. I'm about to
Hey,
leave.
you liked my intro so much you wanted to hear it twice. I get that.
Oh, I forgot
get
your
that.
name.
Oh yeah. You
Smith.
just wanted to play it back.
What is it? What's his name?
Well, we're off to a good start. See, you were going to talk about my technology not working, and
No, there's still no proof of that.
There's still no proof of that. Well, that was the proof. You just played it back, so something recorded from somewhere.
Yeah.
So there you go.
He's embarrassed.
You got me there.
Okay,
We can move on.
Hey, tell us about your comedy.
I can't wait for this next show because it's not all comedy. We've got a musical artist on here. Catfish Carr is going to come in. He's going to play while everybody's getting their seats. And a little bit into the show, he's going to start beforehand. So come early, grab a seat. Catfish used to be open up for B.B. King.
Wow.
So it's going to be a good time. I know you're thinking Catfish Carr and Ranson Carr. How'd we manage to get Catfish Carr?
I was thinking.
It's just a simple, hey, Dad, you want to play? And he always loves to play, so
Okay. Well,
having
that's
Catfish
good.
on the
That's
show
good.
is great.
I enjoy Catfish every now and then.
I know, it's the Last Supper night.
Right.
So I said, we got to have Catfish.
Yeah,
If we're going to have the
exactly.
Last
Yeah.
Supper, let's get Catfish.
Yeah. That's that. Then you got to have some loaves too. Loaves and fishes. That's.
Different sermon.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Different sermon altogether.
I haven't.
We just
been,
need
I haven't
12
been in a while.
We just need, 13 people to show up.
We might be able to do that.
That's what we're looking for.
I almost had that at the show I ran a couple weeks ago. I almost had 13 people show up.
I was one of them.
Yeah, you were.
It was
you
a
were.
good show.
Hey, for a small crowd, it was a good crowd.
Yep.
So at least, if we're going to have a small crowd, it might as well be a crowd that's there to have fun and laugh, and that's at least that's what we had there.
Yeah, no, I love
But-
speed comedy where you got 3 minutes at each table.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. Actually, I went around beforehand. I told everybody else that we're changing the prices of admission. Instead of $10, they each have to bring 10 people. we're making it like a bringer show, but the audience is bringing people.
We have to have $500, so I need another 50 from every one of you
Exactly. That was
before we start the show.
because every now and then it's good to pay the comics that are performing on your show.
I don't know who started all that. Not Rob Haney.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't hear that.
Well, who else is going to be there at the show?
Let's see. Ransom Carr is going to be there, and Scotty Mays.
Scotty Mays.
And Nick Taylor's going to be there.
You're going to be
and
there.
Don Smith's going to be there.
And you're going to be there, right?
I'm going to carry that show. My back's
Well,
already sore and it hadn't even started.
Somebody's got to. Somebody's got to carry it. Now you're doing it with 3 different shows, 3 different headliners.
3 different shows. Each one, myself, Ransom Carr, and Scotty Mays, we're all going to headline a show. Scotty will be the 7:15 one on Saturday. Ransom will be the 9:30 one on Saturday. And I get the 8 o'clock one on Friday.
Cool.
I would have thought that I'm the oldest. I would get the 7:15 on Saturday so I could go to Denny's.
Yeah. So you get, well, you can still, even doing the 7:15 show, you can get the early bird special before you get there.
Yeah.
It's just you'll be a little groggy and ready for a nap.
Yeah, well, I'm that now.
Double up on your Geritol. Is that still a thing? I don't even know.
That's in one of my jokes.
Oh, okay.
The
Well,
term
sorry,
Geritol, so that means it's definitely not a term that people use anymore
Oh, okay.
because I use it.
That's true. Which we'll get that during your joke probably, just because of the fact
That's
that
right.
nobody will recognize it.
Because, I'm attracting, there's so many college ladies here now just standing at our window.
Easy.
Yeah, look at
Ooh.
it.
Easy.
I love visual jokes
guess
on the
they are.
radio.
Exactly. Because you can
Vis-
say whatever you want and it doesn't have to be true.
That's right.
Like,
Boy.
what?
I said beautiful ladies. I wasn't making fun of them at all.
Oh yeah, well that's.
It's not like they're not here.
I used to work here, and that's one of the things I miss the most. Not working here, I don't miss the work. I don't miss the work. I miss the customers. Customers were friendly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Hey,
Brandon.
Brandon.
You tell us a little bit about TBTV.
So TBTV is a comedy sketch show, as I had mentioned. And sometimes you, Don Smith, are on it as a couple different characters, but mostly a homeless man because that's, you got the beard for it.
Typecast.
Typecast. Yeah.
Typecast, yeah.
Well, no, it's not John Morris.
So we got 4 episodes now, and they're all on YouTube. But we are on DATV every Monday at midnight, which kind of confuses me. It is technically Tuesday when you're watching it,
Right.
but you got to stay up Monday night to get the full effect and actually
Right,
watch it.
because if you
live.
stay up Tuesday night to midnight, you're going to miss it.
Yeah, you
because
gotta
it
miss
was
it.
on
Unless it's on
the night.
reruns.
Well, yeah, that's
It could be. And so definitely
You really do look groggy, Dale. You look
I am tired.
confused and tired right now.
See, I was thinking, hey, are you talking about staying up till midnight or waking up at midnight? 'Cause,
well, there's
Well,
always YouTube. So
You could try to program your VCR.
as you've seen, I'm really good with stuff. And that's what I call technical things. I call it stuff.
Stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So we're still working on the 5th episode, and you're somebody different this time around.
I am, and I appreciate that. Too,
Yeah.
because I'm a
What's her name?
Lucinda.
Lucinda. Actually, I've talked about TV enough. I want to tell you this thing.
Tell me
happened.
what else you got.
So Monday night, I went to Lexington, Kentucky to see Weird Al. And
Oh.
it's like ill-advised vanity tour where he plays like his original songs, not so much his parodies that everybody wants. And I could tell like the children in the audience didn't appreciate not hearing the famous parodies
Right.
and whatnot. But I had a hell of a time. And like I don't know how big of a fan you are of Weird Al. I know originally this show had This Is the Life.
Had
as
the
yeah.
theme song.
Yeah, but he was playing like Nature Trail to Hell and Jackson Park Express and like things that you wouldn't hear in a normal show. It was great. And Emo Phillips opened, and he's one of my favorite comedians. And we stayed at a hotel, and in the morning at the breakfast bar, all the band members were there. So I had to say hi to the guitarist, just congratulate him for an awesome time I had. But then I see Emo Phillips walking by with his luggage cart going towards the elevator, groggy as hell, kind of like you are right now.
Yeah, thank you.
And so I said, well, let's go get our bags so we can board this elevator with Emo Phillips. And you guys know how his voice is. It goes from the high octave to the low. I heard his normal voice, and it was the craziest thing. He said, going up, hold on. And then he pressed the button, and then he closed it, and he went up. And
before you got in.
Before I got in.
Okay. So he asked you if you were going up, and then he closed it.
So
that's funny.
So I don't know if he closed it on me or what. So I tweeted about it, and I tagged him in it. I said, I almost rode an elevator with Emo Phillips. He closed it on me. And then he privately messaged me, and let me pull it up here. I'm in contact with Emo Phillips now. It's pretty awesome.
And you didn't get him on the show today?
No, I didn't get him on the show. Well, he's got a tour to do.
Well, we have Dale, so that's all right. We're good.
Come
We're good.
on.
And he messaged me, not fair. I definitely did not press the close button. And then I said, we're good, I swear. Phenomenal show last night, by the way. Your first record is my favorite comedy album. And then he replied, thank you very much, Brandon. Vowing to memorize the stay open button locations on every model of elevator. Emo. It was the greatest thing. I was on cloud 9 when that happened.
There you go. Yeah.
But you must be doing very well because at a hotel and everything.
Oh, right.
You were living large.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I was with my parents, actually. They drove me to Lexington because no one else wanted to go. So.
It's too easy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was my big story.
Did you get your own room?
No, I did not. I had to hear both of them snore the entire time.
It was snore. Thank God you went there.
It was so awful.
But
Yeah.
my emo story.
Damn it, son, there was a sock on the
Guys,
door.
emo story?
Yeah, my emo story is a little bit different because the whole show he was putting together a trombone. The whole show.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, he never played that trombone. It was all new bits that he had written inside the trombone case so that he could grab stuff and pull it up and see what bit he wanted to go and do. And people were just waiting. He's going to play that trombone. No, he didn't play nothing.
Oh,
But
how long ago did you see him?
No, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Did he do the? I don't know if this is like a typical thing he does because I usually listen to the records. Does he like take his jacket off and stuff it in his pocket, and like take everything off and like stuff the rest of it into his pocket?
He said, "Jacket off."
Grow up, Dale.
Now I know what kind of show this is. And like he pretty much took everything that he was done using, kind of like this trombone bit, like he's very physical comedy. He's just stuffing everything down his leg, and he performed with this big, massive leg like nothing was different. And then when the show was over, he took the microphone and put it in his pocket too. It was pretty good.
He did something like that.
Something
Just
like that.
Not all the way, but
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a great comedian.
I know what it's like to perform with a huge leg, ladies.
Well, you did a Ren Fest and had a turkey leg while you were going?
That's it.
Okay, I thought so. I wonder if they should have comics at the Renaissance festivals. That would be weird and probably very disappointing. That would be a really tough
there's
crowd
that
there.
Commercial of the heckler on the night. Your mother.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that.
So no, comedy
So no.
doesn't work with that.
Yeah. It's kind of like doing a show at a wedding or something like that. You know, it's some places it doesn't fit very well.
Hey, now my wedding was the second most important day of my life. My divorce was first.
Right. Now, have you ever? What's the weirdest place you ever performed comedy? Oh, comedy, Dale.
I mean, there's been clubhouses at campgrounds. The overhanging outside
Outhouses?
picnic.
Oh, okay.
No, picnic places.
Oh, the shelters, yeah.
Yeah. Where it's right next to a house, and they decide to hook up a big sound system and give me a mic and say, okay, hello, people.
And try to round
Check this
everybody up
language
in the
out.
yeah, try to round everybody up in the shelter house.
Yep. Get new words coming up for you kids.
I did one like that at a music show that was in a big shelter like that, and it was. I think what did they wanted? It was an all-day music show, and in between bands, they wanted comics to go up. And my set was like 10:30 in the morning.
Oh.
And I basically performed 10 to 15 minutes of comedy while the band's setting up in the background, smacking everything around, making all kinds of racket. And my audience was basically the sound guy, 3 teenage girls, my mom, and my wife. That was.
I think we've all performed on the back of trucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I did it at the VA out at Dayton VA Center because they was doing a fundraiser out there, and they had me on there for some strange reason. And it was a good show. And it was everybody's just walking around though. I mean, you had nobody sitting down.
Right.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Well, listed on my resume, 7 years.
7 years?
How long have I been funny? About 10 minutes.
Really?
I've been doing
Like
it
before you got here?
I was funny doing the telephone thing, working the screen.
No,
Yeah,
we were talking earlier. Speaking of weird places to perform, we were talking about the show outside of Feathers in the Oregon district, out on the street. Have you done that one?
No.
You should. It's fun. You used to run my favorite open mic at the chapter, which I miss because there are new comics coming up that won't get to experience that heartbreak, and they need that because there's some of them do 1 or 2 shows and they think they're really funny, and they haven't really been smacked in the face.
Well, the first 5 years of that, it was good house. I mean, there's good people there to listen. The last 2 years was horrible, and it is because there's guys who didn't want to come back to it, and then they would say statements like, "I kill at the club." Really, you do not kill at the club because you can't make one person even look at you up here.
Yeah, that's one of those shows that if you can get the crowd going there, you've got some good stuff because they don't really want you there.
And those are all my friends too, and
right.
They're like, Dale, we don't even like you anymore.
But no, you should try the show out front of Feathers. There's one coming up April 6th, next Friday, that we were talking about. Your friend Brandon's friend Trevor, who recently started doing comedy. I think he's done 2 shows at Wiley's. So will this be his 3rd show?
Yeah, and like you said, it's brutal.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it
my
goes well.
3rd show was at the chapter.
Really?
That was the 3rd time I'd ever performed.
I love the place. I mean,
it was great. I mean, it was tough, but it was great. It was an experience that comics have to have, and it helps to get it out of the way fairly early.
Well, I tried
because it hurts less. It's like pulling a Band-Aid
I tried to
off.
get people that wanted to host that show.
Yeah, I remember.
And they don't want to host it. And I'm like, really? Because this is where you're going to learn, man. You just get up there and you have to do the fill-in in between everybody, and you get all of that taken care of, and nobody wanted to do it. I think Amy did it once, Amy Knight.
Cody Ray did.
Yeah.
And that was because that was his first time there. And I remember the conversation out front. It was he and Gary Henry and I were out there, and that's what he said. He said, "Well, what's the crowd like here?" And I said, "Well, when's the last time you bombed?" He said, "Well, since I've been doing comedy this past year, I really haven't had but one bad show." And me and Gary looked at him at the same time and said, "This is 2." And I think he did 3 minutes on stage, and he was so shaken that he just stopped and brought me up because I had to go up. I had to go up early because I had to leave early. I think for some reason I can't remember.
That's not why.
But,
that's not why you had to go on early. Get him out of here.
Yeah, get this guy.
Did I take over MCing for him?
I don't know if you did or not.
I've done that several times that I had somebody there. They
And
were gone by
I
the
like
third
Cody,
comic.
but yeah, that he was. You can tell when somebody's shaking when they're on stage, and he was really thrown off.
Yeah, they are gone by the third comic half the time.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys since you're both comics, and I'm not looking to go into stand up, but I do write, comedy or whatever. Who do you? And this is the most trite question ever, but do you have any advice for someone that I know that wants to go into comedy? Should they just go away? Should they not even do it? Like what? How would you approach it? Just start with the open mics, or
Start with the open mics. Do as many as you can.
Stick to the 5 minutes. Don't think you have to have a new 10 minutes or 5 minutes every time.
Sure.
Get that 5 minutes down, because that 5 minutes is probably really only 2 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
Once you
once
get
you
the crap
whittle
out of it,
everything away.
Mm-hmm.
and then you got to add your new stuff. Then
Yeah, I got that advice all the time too, and
I didn't get that.
yeah.
I had new material every time.
I
and
didn't
that
have
made
new
me
material
suck.
every time. I'd do the same set when I first started. I'd do the same set about 3 or 4 times, and then I'd come up with new stuff. Sometimes I'd mix the new stuff in. Sometimes I'd do a whole brand new set, which is very much ill-advised.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had luck occasionally with it. I've had some. There was one show I did at the Funny Bone back when they still did mics. I was all brand new stuff, and the guy I had to follow, it's like I really didn't think I could follow him. For one thing, I was a nervous wreck. I had all brand new material that I didn't even know if I had it all committed to memory yet. And if Megan, who ran the show, I think if she'd have walked past me while I was sitting there ready to go up on stage, I would have grabbed her and said, "I can't do this tonight." But I got up there, and it was one of my best sets. And it was
That's
all
the
brand
one.
new. What's that? That's the
That's
one.
the
That's
one.
the one that you laughed at. The rest of But no, that so I mean there are all kinds of approaches. I mean, I have been told all the time, work on the 5 minutes and get it good. And
Well, like I said,
I just have a hard time doing it.
It's down. If you got 5 minutes, you probably really only have 2.5.
Now, what do you guys think of like shticky performances? Washing, yeah.
for sticky,
Like-
wash them. Define sticky.
For
I'm talking
instance-
about plungers and
Not so much like props or anything, but like, say for instance, like wearing a mask to look anonymous. Not like the anonymous mask,
right,
but like
the unknown comic.
but like someone
Don't want to go up wearing a bag over your head.
something like that. Like what? Like how well does that kind of stuff work? Like, are there masked comedians?
It depends. There have been the unknown comic, for example,
that's right.
wore a bag
That's
over
right.
his head.
Forgot about
Well, I once
There's some guy that does comedy in a panda suit.
that. Really?
I once
Is that true?
threw
Yes.
myself out of one of those open mics and went and put on because I used to do professional wrestling, so I had a wrestling mask and came back with the mask on. And I mean, was it funny? Yeah, it was all right.
yeah.
But there's spots for it.
Yeah. My advice on that is if you think you got something that's funny with that, do it. See what happens.
I've had this idea
Because Sunday comics at Wiley's, the open mic there. I mean, it's a good show. The crowd's usually forgiving, but we've had some strange phenomenon.
Yeah.
We've had Puke,
Puke.
a guy named Puke. He did it a couple times. Fell off the stage one of those times.
Wow.
Actually tried to go down the front and stepped on one of the tables. The
That-
table flipped and he fell.
That is my bit.
That's your bit, falling off the stage?
That's
you
how-
gave him
Was
that
that
one?
you?
That's how I got the stuff from Rob Haney. That's the first time he booked me. So, I better give him a show and give him $10.
Yeah, real
or he's
soon.
going to sue me.
We had Action Jackson, I think. Didn't he get up there in his underwear? And we had one guy get up and had a giant traffic cone sticking out of the front of his pants. I mean, there's been...
Wow.
You never know what's going to work. And yes, there is a comic that will occasionally put on a panda suit. Mike Canistero
Yeah. Oh.
is Pandy Kaufman, allegedly.
Wow. I love it. That's great.
And he does well.
You sure it's not Tony
if you,
Clifton?
Well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to wear one of the horse masks and go up as Pony Clifton and start
Pony
yelling at him. We never did coordinate that. We were going to do that at Cat's Lounge once, and it just didn't happen. But Mike does a lot of different characters.
No, this person who had this idea also had this other idea. He arrives to the open mic in a wheelchair.
That's funny already.
Doesn't acknowledge that he's in a wheelchair. Like his jokes don't have anything to do with his disability or whatever. And when his set is done, people are clapping, he gets up and walks away. Is that funny?
He's going to lose a wheelchair that way.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be kind of strange.
That's something I think
It'd
that
be
I would need to see.
It would be harder to
I'm
do
thinking
at a
that
club
would be,
if they had stairs to get on the stage.
That would be more funny if he told nothing but wheelchair jokes and then stood up and laughed.
You think so?
Yeah, that would be funny for the comics. Some in the crowd might get very offended, which would be funny for us in the back of the room.
But that's what comedy is.
Exactly, yeah.
It's offensive.
So you think do wheelchair-centric comedy if you're in the wheelchair, then leave.
Right.
That would be the better approach?
Stand up and carry the wheelchair off with you.
That way you don't lose a perfectly good wheelchair.
All right, I got to do the comedy rundown. We got to take a little break here. Here's this week's comedy rundown. Sorry, didn't mean to cut anybody off, but hey, we got a schedule to keep. This show is important. If we get off schedule, we will never find our way back to the core of whatever the hell this show's about. Here's this week's comedy rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Wednesday through Saturday, March 28th through the 31st, Coco Brown is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Thursday, March 29th, we actually have 3 shows. There's an open mic at the Spirited Goat at 118 Dayton Street in Yellow Springs. It starts at 7 p.m. There's also an open mic at Mugshots at 2341 Smithville Road in Kettering. That show starts at 8 p.m. And also an open mic at the Hookah Bazaar at 958 Patterson Road in Dayton. That show starts at 10 p.m. Sign-ups for that show if you want stage time start at 9:30. So that's 3 mics on a Thursday night that if a really aggressive comic can go hit. Friday and Saturday, March 30th and 31st, the Cry for Help comedy show is going to be at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District with Dale Blumquist, Ransom Carr, and Scotty Mays headlining, special guests Nick Taylor and me, along with music from Catfish Carr. So it sounds like a great show there. Both Wiley's and Funny Bone are closed on Sunday, so happy Easter. There is also no Comics Hang at Wiley's this Sunday. That is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. And now here's, I think this is St. Mary, St. Michael is the song is the band I've actually chosen to play. I didn't mean to disappoint you if you were looking for Potter's Field. We'll get to him. But this is St. Mary, St. Michael with the song Neat.
Almost had it all, and I lost everything. All that's left to me is my name. But I don't want your pity. The only thing I need is to drown my sorrows and pain. So bartender, you asked me what I'd like to drink. Well, it's been a long day. I can hardly think. Life is such a mess. So if you're asking me, well, I'll take my whiskey neat. The last one that we pulled, then we'd all go clean. But then I saw them gun him down. Don't ask me what I mean. Don't say anything. Just pour me another round. So bartender, you asked me, got my drink choice. Well, I don't want anything to water down my voice. Now my life is such a mess, so maybe what I need is to take my whiskey. Maybe it's my fault, maybe I brought it on myself. Now this glass is my only friend. I'm drinking till I'm numb, and I still hurt like hell. Just keep pouring until I say when. Oh, bartender, you ask me what I'd like to drink. Well, it's been a long day, I can hardly think. My life is such a mess, so maybe what I need is to take my whiskey. So I'll take my whiskey. Yeah, I'll take my whiskey.
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
Attention men, have you lost your zest for living? You tried the 5-hour energy drink, even the 6-hour energy. They didn't work. Forget them, because here at Strom's Pharmaceutical, we have developed an energy drink just for you. It is guaranteed to get you up and ready for action. Try our new energy drink. It's so good you'll want to keep it a secret. Now all you have to do is have an affair. A fair energy drink. It's so good, just don't get caught.
My name is Dr. Strom from Strom Pharmaceuticals, and I have found that I was in a rut. I was doing the same thing day after day, week after week, with the same people, with the same person all the time. I had to get some kind of way of restoring my energy. So we got together at Strom Pharmaceutical and we made the perfect energy drink. And I got to be the first one to try it. So as soon as we got it together, I went and I had my affair. A fair energy drink gave me energy of a 20-year-old and put a smile on my face.
A fair energy drink. It's so sweet, just don't get caught. Just listen to some satisfied customers.
Had an affair. Looking forward to having another one real soon.
Our hidden cameras at the gym with Steve and John.
What's up, bro? Bro, John, never seen you play basketball with so much energy. What gives?
Can you keep a secret?
Bro.
Don't tell my wife, but I've been having an affair.
Designed for men, but satisfying for women who want to try having an affair. Listen to what Tim had to say.
My wife has a lot of energy. I think she might have had an affair.
And just take a look at Roger and his wife Beth through our hidden camera.
Honey, you're looking really good. Are you doing anything different?
No, not at all. Actually, yes. I've been having a lot of affairs lately, and they are fantastic. You should really try one.
Well, how do you think I've dealt with you for the last 3 years?
A fair energy drink. It's so good, just don't get caught. We did not forget about those of you who live the alternative lifestyle. Try our alternative energy drink, a fairy. Bottoms up, boys. A fairy comes in the can.
We've got more testimonials. This is from Gary. He's from Moose Knuckle, Kentucky. He says, I liked it so much, I cannot wait to have another affair. Now we have Mitch from Last Call, North Dakota, and he says that he's had his second affair. And now he wants to have one every day. And this is from Jay in Detitties, Colorado. He said, my wife caught me having an affair. Now I'll never have one again. But I'll still have the memories of that affair that I did have with me forever.
Side effects may include permanent smile that cannot be removed from face, may cause divorce in some marriages, which will include painful alimony and possible years of child support. In some cases with weapon availability, an affair may be fatal.
All right. Well, I didn't know it ended that soon. See, because it's still okay. We're back. That was
Anybody want to have an affair?
yeah. That sounds good. I could use the energy. Let's.
That's right.
I actually have one right now.
Because we've got lots of women in the radio studio.
Yes. Oh,
Hello.
okay. Thanks for clearing that up, Dale. Because right now it just looked like you and Brandon were both having an affair together.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh boy.
So what's the story behind a fair energy drink? Is it just a random silliness you came up with, or?
Oh, yeah. It just came up. I've got about 4 more minutes of lines to go to it. And we just put it together real quick just to see what it looked like. I mean, it's got a video out there on...
there's a video? Okay.
On Ranson's YouTube thing.
Oh, on his?
Yeah.
So you have to weed through all of his crap to find it?
Yeah. Or you have to somehow get a hold of me and I'll send the link to you.
Oh, okay.
To where you can just
that's
look
easy.
at that.
Yeah. All right. Should we cover a few news stories since we're sitting here? Or
Yeah.
do you have other things you want to?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Right. I'm about to take a nap. So.
Okay. Well, we'll hit some news. And you had a few news stories that you brought with you? Did you want to hit yours first, or? It's not very often my guests bring news stories along because apparently the rumor got out that I'm ill prepared to do my show. So.
Why are you staring at me when you're saying that?
Yeah. The best story. I mean, with that Easter, I figured it would fit. Easter week.
All right.
In North Carolina, there was a gentleman who broke into a Pizza Hut, and he called the police to turn himself in. And when they answered the 911 call, he said, "Hello, my name is Jesus." And he's like, "Yeah, okay. Well, what's your last name?" He goes, "Christ." And at that point, you really don't know if he's mad or what.
Yeah, well, it depends on inflection, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Sir, I'm going to need some identification.
I broke in. He said, "Well, why'd you break in?" "Because I'm hungry." You're like, "Well, why'd you go there?" "Because I'm Jesus Christ. I can do anything I want."
Well, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Son of God.
Yeah. Would it be like endless stuffed crust? How many people could he feed with a large pizza?
He said, "Well, I ate a pizza and drank a Mountain Dew, and you can't turn Mountain Dew into wine."
You probably could.
No,
it's got enough sugar in it. If it ferments enough, I mean, that
you got to let
we'll
it
have
go.
to try it.
I've made my own prison hooch before.
Was it with Mountain Dew, and did you make it in the toilet?
No, it was with Welch's grape juice.
Okay.
It was awful.
Was it? Yeah. Well, there are a lot of additives that go into wine the most, because I actually made my own homemade wine.
Did you
for
really?
a long time, yes, and it was very good. Just all depends on the additives you put it in.
Look,
when you stop fermentation.
My 2 prison bitches are making their own wine.
I don't make mine in the toilet. I actually have fermentation containers and carboys.
I was thinking about making my own beer. You get those buckets or whatever, and the kits are about $100, I think. But in the long run, it might be cheaper to do that instead of buying the $13.99 pack of hams for the 30 beers.
See, I've thought about making my own ham.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm having some Sunday.
Yeah, it's Easter. Why not?
I'm drinking hams all day.
Did you catch it? Why not?
Yeah, I got you.
Anyway, that was a good one. Yeah, we're not really. So Jesus in a Pizza Hut, because when he returns, that's exactly where I expect him to go.
True story.
Because they need the most help there. If you've tried their pizza,
nobody out pizzas the Hut. That's what he was proving right there.
Right. Yeah, and nobody out Jabba's the Hut.
Right. What was your other news story?
The other one nobody likes.
Okay,
you get used to that.
Yeah. One of the guys who wrote and played in Dueling Banjos.
Oh yeah,
passed away.
Yeah.
He's not the one that gets the name on the Deliverance, or when it was up to number 4 on the charts. Deliverance, the theme, and I mean he's the one that he played it. He died, and now they can't call it.
Now he's one of the original.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't call it Dueling Banjos anymore, so now they just call it Banjo.
Just the one.
Well, possibly with an inner conflict. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this, and
An
you know,
inner conflict banjo is now.
That's good.
with it being Deliverance,
Yeah.
this is not funny at all. But with it being Deliverance, I mean, he passed away from prostate cancer.
Yeah.
I just let that settle in because it's Deliverance. Ned Beatty, take them panties down,
Okay.
boy.
Whee!
He's got
Anyway.
Nick Griffin had a song called Ned Beatty's Got the Hardest Part.
Yeah. Yep. That was it was a difficult role to play. I would imagine.
That's the scariest movie in the world. There's not. I mean, Halloween.
The
Friday the
bad
13th,
thing about
no.
that is that really is a good movie.
Yeah.
But that one part has just tainted the whole thing for everybody.
Tainted. I see what you did there. This is that sticky. This that sticky stuff we were talking about.
Stuff, yeah.
It just left a stain on the whole
Yeah.
movie. Oh wow! Should we move on?
Yeah,
Or are we good with Are we happy with ourselves? At this
No,
point?
no.
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. Let's go on to one of your stories.
All right. Well, moving on. Well, Constantine Rillieux, got to pronounce that right.
French.
A dead man has been having himself a rough year. The Turkish government deported him in January for having expired documents, sending him back to Romania. He says he hadn't been to where he hadn't been for since the late 90s. And can you imagine his surprise when upon his return he found out he died back in 2003? There was an official death certificate registered by his wife and everything. He says, I'm officially dead, although I'm alive. I have no income because I'm listed as dead. I can't do anything. In fact, Rillieux is only 63 years old and not nearly dead. Very nearly couldn't even get back into Romania. It took more than 6 hours of interrogation just to convince custom officials that he wasn't playing a hoax on him. He told the local media. They told him it had to be a joke because he was dead.
That's the status I'm looking for. I want to
You wanna
achieve
be
that
dead, but
status.
not dead?
I can't do nothing.
Is this the one where he came in front of the judge and they tried to prove that he was who he was, that he wasn't dead?
I believe so.
Is that the
yeah.
one? Wow.
Because there have been a couple of those times that happened.
Yeah.
I
wonder
think it
why
was
the
funny
wife.
that his wife.
Yeah. Is she married with 7 kids?
Yeah,
now?
that must be. She's got. But you were dead.
Right.
Maybe she just had an affair energy drink.
She said, wait a minute. That insurance money is gone.
Yeah. They ain't getting it back now. I don't know who this man is claiming to be my late husband.
D.B.
He died
Cooper.
in 2003.
Oh man, that sucks.
That would be terrible to find out you died.
Oh yeah, it would be. Unless
I mean,
you hate your
and
wife.
still have to be alive. I mean, because most people who die don't live through it.
That is correct.
Yeah, this
But
guy's
it
been
is
kicking
Easter,
for
it
15
is
years.
Easter weekend.
It is.
We're going to find out.
It is.
See,
this
we
is-
get
that's-
wholesome every once in a while.
It's a good time for this show, for this news story. Then,
Yeah.
risen from the
Call
dead
back.
in Romania. At least he's not robbing a
We
pizza. Hut.
appreciate all your calls today. Thank you very
Yes,
much for
yes.
calling in, folks.
Yeah, it was good to hear from you, Ed. Ed, John, those two.
Well, he's going to ask me, when can I get on your next show? When you call in the show.
There you go. And this just in, Flippy is on hiatus.
Flippy, the dog?
Flippy. Last week in Pasadena, the local Caliburger outlet gave the burger flipping robot an opportunity to make history and to replace a human cook. Turning burgers on the grill, the $60,000 robot was hired with great fanfare. Caliburger boasted Flippy could flip 2,000 patties a day. The robot even has image recognition and heat sensing technology to allow it to know when the burgers need flipping. Though just after one day on the job, Flippy got the pink slip. Turned out its human helpers couldn't keep preparing the patties for Flippy. The company says not to despair for the robot. There is still hope for a callback for this automated hamburger helper. So apparently Flippy did such a great job, he worked himself right out of a job.
I wonder what you can do with a one-armed robot.
I'm
Let's check it out at a college.
Well,
right,
yeah,
Steve?
because the Flippy, he's only got one motion with that one hand. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. Just.
It's really crazy how many jobs can be taken over by robots. Like, besides like the creative, the writing and the stuff we're doing here, like.
They'll be at this eventually. A robot
really?
can sit in here. Yeah.
I'm sure they could, but I don't know. It's like
Just
it's a human job though. Like
according to
like
Skynet,
that, like like the whole flipping burgers. That's like a mindless job
Brandon,
in itself.
I think you're just scared.
Maybe
that we're all going to be replaced when the Great Revolution happens.
I think so.
Yeah, and I understand that fear.
but it's okay. We're going to download your brain.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, we'll be in those robots.
Yep.
I used to work at a car wash, and they pretty much shut down because of all the automated car washes. There was like the only, human ran one in the area.
So there's a little bit of for you. There's a little bit of justice in Flippy getting fired.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: like a lot of people that are really good at their jobs, he got fired because his coworkers weren't worth a crap. His human coworkers couldn't keep up.
Oh,
getting the patties prepared, because he did too good of a job.
Wow, is that? Oh,
that's why.
We'll give him the pink slip.
Exactly.
2,000 an hour he could do.
Yep.
And now only 5 people an hour can eat.
Well,
thanks to the humans.
And now he's using that flipping arm to make money in dark alleys, and probably he's got one arm, so it's frustrating. He can't even shoot up properly.
Well, listen.
He can't even talk. He's doing sign language, saying, "Hey, Ned Beatty."
Well, listen. I still listen to cassettes, so maybe I'm just I'm nostalgic for actual human workers.
Yeah,
maybe.
So you know what it's like to put the pencil in there and turn it to get the cassette.
I seek those things out still.
Yeah, you got like the retro pencil sharpeners too. The old hand crank. Yeah. It's good visual, Dale, on the radio.
That's what I do.
You ever put a crayon in one of those? It ruins your day.
Yes. It's hard to get them out too.
Then
any pencil you sharpen afterward, it's got crayon.
Oh yeah.
It only ruined my day after my dad came home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't sharpen pencils. Those pencils don't grow. Yeah, they do grow on trees, but.
You got another one?
Yeah, we'll hit one more, and then it's getting, depending on how this one goes, it could be,
Yeah.
Late at night, in the gathering shadows of your bedroom, you may have heard it. Or perhaps you heard it over breakfast with your family in the kitchen. The sound rising unbidden from over your shoulder in the corner of the room you thought, and now desperately wish were empty. Laughter, quick, inhuman laughter. At least that's what Amazon Echo owners say they've been hearing lately. In recent weeks, many of them have hit social media saying their smart speakers have been laughing spontaneously, unprompted by commands. The random cackling, as you can imagine, has been described as really creepy, a good reason why it's time to move, and the scariest crap I've ever heard. One Reddit observer observed I was trying to turn off some lights, and they kept turning back on. After the third request, Alexa stopped responding and instead did an evil laugh. So here we are. They are getting back for the firing of Flippy. It is robot revenge, and we are doomed.
And that's who Ed Johns buys a ticket for when he does comedy. So they laugh at him.
I'm bringing my own laugher because you got to have something.
Now I don't own an Alexa thing or a Google Home, whatever
that crap is, because you still have a manual hand crank pencil sharpener.
That's right. But I find it interesting. Like I know of these things and whatever, and I'm a big fan of South Park, and they did this episode where they were talking about Alexa, and basically they had a bunch of these rednecks take over Alexa's job and whatever.
They took her job.
Yeah, right. So they took them back. And the funny thing is, I noticed there was a little bit of a volume problem there. and I had to really turn it up loud. And the next day, there was a bunch of news sites that saying that the South Park episode was making these Alexa things go off because of how loud we had to turn our TVs up, and they recognized that it was someone trying to contact Alexa. It was this weirdest thing, and all of them were going. And
well, that sounds like something they would do just on purpose.
Oh,
to
yeah.
To make everybody's Alexas go nuts.
That's why the volume was all crazy. And
they probably try to turn everything off at once.
Right.
That's crazy.
And wasn't there a commercial where that happened, and everybody like ordered pizza or something, ordered like something on their Amazon device. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know that one. I know there's
it's a similar thing.
There's all kinds of devices you can order pizza with anymore.
Right. Did you hear about the shoes? I'm sorry to go on a different news story, but
did you hear that there is a vibrator that will order you a pizza when you finish? Yes, there is. I read about this.
I've got it on me right now.
Oh, okay. Well, get us a pizza. Hurry up and finish.
Way.
That was a new facial video. Yeah. For those watching through the window with their shirts off.
Yep. Jesus, bring us some Pizza Hut.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yes, I heard. I can't remember the name of it. I probably have it somewhere in my old notes, but there's a name.
See, Don's got one too.
It's like the Rub and Grub or something. Or Rub Grub. That is what it is. Rub Grub. Yes.
Wow, that is amazing.
And you can have it for $19.95.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. How did you get 20 pizzas show up a day? And I think it's only Domino's that has it right now. You can only order from Domino's at the time.
So like when
you
you
actually program your order in, you go online, you program. I know way too much about this thing.
So when
I was fascinated by it, so when I ordered one, I had to try it.
Yeah. So when your delivery driver comes, they have to know.
What'd you say?
Exactly.
Wait, so they come, then the delivery driver comes, right? Okay. So, I mean, they have to know. Like, it's got to be on the receipt somewhere, right?
You can't.
Yeah, how it was ordered.
You can't put that on the pizza.
Yeah,
that's going to ruin the taste of the pizza.
Where's the FCC?
Which kind of harkens back to the old 70s pornos. Got a pizza delivery here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, too late. We're done now. We don't need to.
How are we going to settle this bill?
Oh,
dumb.
So what were you saying?
Oh, I don't even remember.
You said something about the shoes, and I took it a whole different direction.
There's this shoe, you know, like I don't know, it was the 80s or 90s when those shoes had the powder.
Yeah, the little pump thing.
Yeah, the pump thing. Well, they have them for Pizza Hut now. Yep. You just press the little sole or whatever, and you get a pizza.
Jesus wouldn't have had to break the door if he had those shoes.
If he had good shoes, they'd have delivered it right to him.
Right.
Yep. Jesus, what were you thinking?
Pizza for Jesus. Christ.
Is that like Jews for Jesus?
Yeah.
Pizza for Jesus.
I mean, you get a pizza, but the shoes look ridiculous, so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, just
it's a nice balance.
imagine walking around with that vibrator.
right.
I'll take the shoes.
Does it have the logo on it?
I'd have to. It'd have to have the Domino's logo on it.
The battery started wearing out. Now it goes off anytime. Talk about the shoes.
Yeah, right. Because there'd have to be something powering the shoes in order to. I'd imagine the vibrator's hand crank. Oh man. Going off the rails here on the life. It's time to take a break. It's a long break. Aren't you glad you came in today, Dale?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. That's always good.
Because I want us to talk about other things we should be able to do with our bodies to get stuff.
Right. Yeah. We'll touch on that after the break. All right. We're going to take a little break, and we will be back here shortly. Stay tuned. There's probably more really silly stuff coming up.
Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at WWSU1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Hello, my name is Jesus,